Okay.
Crazy, man. I think we're actual barrel rolling.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We just pulled up to Jesse's performance. We got the buggy here. I'm super pumped to say it's time for the first rip. The first true rip this thing is gonna see. We drove it a little bit last night, but the thing was the VTEC solenoid was disconnected and we had the wrong computer. So it had kind of like a limp mode happening where it wouldn't rev past 3,000 RPM. It was already wild at that point, but now it's gonna rev all the way to about 7,500 we believe. This thing's gonna be nuts.
Guys, we do not have proper brakes, so I'm not driving it today.
Alright guys, so we're narrowing down the reason why the buggy runs like crap, and we narrowed it down to the distributor.
Yeah.
Want to sum it up?
So basically where we're at here, we wanted to run the Civic guts on the Prelude housing. So the wiring will match up to our Civic harness, but we had to have the Prelude housing because the Civic housing is different because it's not on an H22. So basically, I've done this a lot. Someone, I'm not gonna name names, put the Civic shaft into the Prelude housing. And what that does is it puts the timing 180 out, which normally you would just change the plug wires around, but it also puts the crank sensor pickup 180 out.
I promise it wasn't me.
That's bad news bears. So no matter what we do, we couldn't get it to fire.
So we've literally gone through 4 distributors now, and we finally got the magic formula.
Hopefully the AutoZone guys aren't watching this.
It's pretty cool that you use the harness from one specific style, you use the body from a different style, you use the pickup from a different style. Like it's a fully custom built distributor.
Yeah, basically.
It's on par with the build, for sure, right?
I think unique is the best way to describe the whole thing.
This is 0, right? See how it lines up? 0. Then when you put,
Lines up with the pickup?
right.
Okay.
Okay, see it's got a scratch line, right?
Yeah,
it's
I see
not
it.
very good.
That's it.
But that's where this is supposed to be on your 0. That's full throttle, so it'll go.
It'll go?
Yeah.
We try to go rip it?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
Okay, so I think we finally got it to get full throttle.
I
I think we're still kind of in a limp mode, but we're gonna give it hell.
Alright guys, this is it. This is the best it's been running. It's almost running like it should. It's at night, but we're still gonna send it. We got some headlights, and you know what?
I'm gonna grab the jump box just in case.
Yeah, we should probably grab some tools too. We're just gonna see what happens. We're super pumped and we might break down, but this is the maiden voyage with like at least some kind of power. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Jesse's running with the jump box.
Just in case.
Just in case.
It's nice and brisk this evening.
You roll with the elements in this thing. Headlights?
Yeah, look at that.
Rocking, dude. There we go. All right.
All right. Holy! As long as the wheels stay on. What's here? This thing fucking rips. Oh, that actual pistol. Yeah!
Dude, oh, that was fun. We definitely broke something, but that's okay.
That's all right. Well, we got her out and back, and the alternator seems to be charging, which is good. And yeah.
I don't know how much that audio is usable, but we fucking sent it. We hear boom, 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 boom. But dude, it rips.
It rips.
It goes. And now that's not even full power.
That's like 3,000 RPMs, like half power.
No VTEC, right? Because
No.
the VTEC's literally disconnected right now.
Yeah.
Holy, that was a rush.
Maybe we should could hook the VTEC up and it'll rev.
Yeah.
Put the oil pressure sensor up.
That's true.
Let's give her a whirl.
Dude, we're figuring this out, guys. The brakes are still trash. That's okay. You have to think ahead of where you're gonna stop, you know. So.
Yeah. Oh man.
So we're trying to figure out why it's still wobbly. But you're gonna check the lug nuts real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That one.
Did you just spin that?
That one might not be all the way tight.
Wait,
Not only are we rolling on 2 lug nuts, we got one that's partially tight. So
the wheel's just going. So it wasn't the axle necessarily. It was the wheel
it's
going.
the wheel.
Yeah.
It's the wheel. Let's try tightening the axles or the lug nuts.
Yeah.
And go one more time.
Okay, let's do it. Or maybe 2 more. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe 2 more.
Yeah. We're ready for main voyage number 2. This time, most importantly, we do have a fire extinguisher in the driver's seat because you never know what's going to happen.
Safety first.
Absolutely adjusted performance. We got the lug nuts tight. That's kind of important. All 2 of them. And we also remembered that our VTEC oil solenoid, right?
Yeah, the oil pressure switch actually.
The oil pressure switch for VTEC, which sits right, it's kind of dark, but that green thingy right there, that controls VTEC. It wasn't connected. So that could have caused the ECU to go into some kind of limp mode.
Right, hopefully. Hopefully
Yeah.
it didn't kick the switch over and, you know, put it into like a critical limp mode, so maybe we can get it away from that.
All right, guys, so you may be wondering why the lights are off right now and the buggy's just chilling. The reason being, we just figured out when we changed the computers back out to the stock P28 computer, the rev limiter miraculously went away. So now it revs to like, what, 8 grand?
Yeah, I think it's like 7,500.
And it was kind of a good thing that it was maxing out at like 3,500 because the brakes are absolute garbage and it kept us from going too fast.
Yeah.
But now it revs like
Yeah.
it should. And we're going home before we hurt ourselves because we're going to end up in a tree.
Yeah, I'll send that bitch.
We were doing 4th gear donuts with a rev limiter at 3,500-ish. We're going home so we don't kill ourselves. This is great. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, we do not have proper brakes.
This thing does not stop. Like, you put your foot to the floor on the brake pedal and it coasts to a stop. It's not good, but luckily we have a big open area here. We're gonna rip it a little bit. Unfortunately, we can't go full send because we gotta be able to stop, right? Like,
Can I make one point out?
Yes.
You said the big area open here. We're in a garage.
Well,
So you went.
real quick, guys, before we take it out, I just kind of want to go over what we did to get to this point. So the first thing was we ordered a P07 ECU, aka piece of shit. We got this thing off eBay, right? It's trash. Like, there was a chip in it. We took the chip out and it never ran right. Now that was part of the problem. The other half of the problem was our harness. Whenever we got the harness, it's a Civic harness, we didn't go through it. We actually discovered that we were missing 2 ground wires and 1 12-volt wire. So even if the computer was running right, it would be in like some kind of limp mode, which I think it was. So Jesse took off the entire harness, went through the entire thing, and we put it back on the right way. Now the other issue with this whole setup was the distributor. We had an aftermarket MSD distributor, and while we were going down the list as to reasons why it possibly didn't work, the distributor was a big candidate because not only is the crank sensor in it, the camshaft sensor is also in it, which those control our spark and our fuel. It's good to note that we've basically converted this Prelude engine to run with Civic sensors and Civic hardware. Even though it's going to have the same amount of power, it's easier to go like that because Civic parts are way easier to find than Prelude parts. Granted, this whole process took us at least a week. Like, there is so much troubleshooting. Like I said, we went through 4 distributors. Do you know what Murphy's Law is?
I'm in school. I don't even know what the that is.
Murphy's Law states anything that can go wrong will go wrong. That was so accurate for Carl right here. Like, everything that could go wrong went wrong. And that's exactly what happened here. But, dude, I'm nervous. Every single time we start this thing, I would get so nervous. Like, just because we have so much work into it. So many freaking hours. Here we go.
Let it rip.
Okay. No, so it's basically the way the shifter is, guys, it's like mirrored. So first is where fifth is and reverse is where second was.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
Alright, it's time for a turbo.
You wanna drive it?
What happened? Oh, you got the hat? Crazy, man. I threw a barrel rolling. Broken axle? Oh, yeah, it's broken right here, Justin. It's broken up there. It's broken, twisted. Oh. Billy, what you gotta say though?
Hey, I'm in the Welds held. That's all I'm saying.
God damn.
Welds held though. I seen it when it come out. I was like, damn.
I was like, wait, was that an accident?
Like, where are we going?
I just saw something black fly. That was all.
Oh, damn.
Damn, compadre. Woo! Holy crap, dude. Full send there. I'm probably pushing it. This is what happens when shit breaks.
Your axle plan?
Yeah.
Perforate and weld.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
The buggy axle is still good. It's on it, right? Yeah.
It's just gonna be fun cleaning up the Volkswagen side. The well tells that.
Wow, it's all twisted.
You see the way it's like
Yes.
elliptical?
So bad, bro.
Not having the brakes, I was a lot more cautious than I normally would have been.
Get some 4340 steel.
Yeah, we'll get some heavy duty
Kick boy.
axle stuff and put that on, and then yeah, there's 50 horsepower left in this thing pretty easy.
Ready? Listen, you ready, bro?
I'm ready. Whoa, your hand, bro.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's healed.
I'm making sure.
It looks like raw chicken breast, but it's okay. It got burned, so.